Hi, my name is Frank Schaefer, a one-time religious rights activist in the 1970s and 80s with my evangelist, Father Francis Schaefer, and now I guess you would describe me as a liberal activist. Doing my bit in the resistance to the worst president this United States has ever elected in my lifetime, certainly. That includes Richard Nixon, and that is Donald Trump. But, you know, as we talk about impeachment and hearings and Russia and Putin and corruption and the nepotism of his family and Breitbart.com and all these other people, let's not lose track of something. The only reason Donald Trump is president is because we had a black president, and the resentment of the white oligarchy and the racist and the xenophobic white evangelicals who designed an entire Christian school movement in the 70s and 80s to try to end-run integration. These people who followed people like the segregationist Jerry Falwell Sr., whose son now runs Liberty University, are reacting to the first black presidency. And their reaction was to elect the most unqualified president to replace perhaps the best president this country's had in my lifetime, the most erudite, the most educated, the most well-spoken, the best temperament we've had in a president that I can remember, a true leader. And it's almost like a parody of something like Paradise Lost or Satan's Fall from Heaven, whatever it might be. The reaction against this wonderful figure of President Obama, who endured an 8-year slow-motion lynching by the white mob, the oligarchs, the alt-right, the white supremacists, and all the rest of it. It's almost like a parody. You know, I don't even think Shakespeare would have cooked up something like this, to go from someone so luminous and so bright and so well qualified, but also just so deeply human, the good husband of a wife, a faithful father, someone who is there for his family. And instead we get this adulterous swine, this philanderer, this molester of woman, this person with criminal impulses who lies his way through life, this con man, this multiple bankrupt, this person who's opened this whole Pandora's box of a relationship with our sworn enemy in Russia, and the murderer, the mass murderer, and the assassin and killer Vladimir Putin, who kills his opponents, who jails them, who beats them. To go from Barack Obama to Trump is really mind-boggling, but it's only explicable by the depth of the racism. The magnifying glass that Trump's election puts on our country goes to show that, yes, indeed, 40% or so of the American public are uneducated, racist fools who occupy this white underclass that, by the way, is where all the so-called real welfare mothers live. White older males my age are the people who are essentially out there sucking up dollars from the federal system, from Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security and unemployment benefits and disability, huge amounts of white males on disability, in comparison to the productive black community that the whites like to disparage, who are forging ahead economically. And that in spite of the mass incarceration of the new Jim Crow, where male black men have been locked up on the dubious pretext of minor drug charges by the millions to try to control that population out of black ascendancy into our culture. And so I just want to point out, you know, as we struggle, as we resist, let's remember the truth of the matter. The entire fiasco of Trump is made possible by the resentment of white fools, from the billionaire oligarchs and people like Jeff Sessions and Mike Pence, all the way down to the know-nothing twits flying Confederate flags on the back of their stupid pickup trucks, roaring up and down highways. This entire stupid movement, this fart in the wind, which will blow away and be replaced by a multicultural, decent, fair society that will look at this moment with mind-boggling propensity, saying, what on earth was this about? Just remember this. It is a reaction to a first black president. And otherwise, none of this is explicable, especially the fact that the Republican Party continues to go along with this mentally unstable, unfit fool. Can only be explained by the continuing reaction and obstruction that they cannot get out of the habit of. They're still obstructing the Obama presidency, even though Obama is no longer president. Go figure. Thank you. My name is Frank Schaeffer.